Now we will move on to our next session, which is by Mr. Chintan Oza. Yes. So Mr. Chintan Oza is the founder of Anantam Ecosystem. He will discuss what investors are looking for in any startup. He brings in 24 years of technical and the startup experience. Mr. Chintan is actively involved in PMI, IEEE, and many more technical communities. He advises startups and serves on the multiple advisory boards of multiple organizations. Thank you, sir. Over to you. Yes, we can see.
Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, yes, sir, we can see.
Thank you so much. I hope I'm adequately audible as well as visible. So thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to interact with everyone. My namaskar, my pranams, my greetings to all gurus over here, all seniors over here, and a big hello to everyone, all my peers. So let's get going. And today we are going to talk about let's make your startup investor friendly. So I have been adequately introduced. However, I would like to take a moment and encourage you to donate blood. There are a lot many people who are in need of blood. And what makes me say this, I myself have donated blood for 39 times by now. So let's get going. This is going to be the agenda for the day. We will have a look at the various growth stages. We'll have a look at various sectors which are the investors are looking for. Then we will also look at how investors examine your startup. And then at the end, I would share a couple of pro tips. So welcome to the world of entrepreneurship. You just started swimming, and this is where you face yourself. At the beginning, at the seed stage, you will have a valley of death, and then comes the break even and growth beyond. This graph was published by Cardullo in 1999, and I have appended it with the curve of risk. So please, so whatever you speak, we will assume that you all of you are at seed stage, or you are aspiring, and you are even at pre-seed stage as well. So with this, we are growing, and this is where the growth stages are. Then let me help you read this table. So these are various stages, right, from pre-seed to seed, series A, B, and then going public. And then if you look at the column in respective colors, you would realize that as and when you have an idea, you are at a pre-seed stage. When you have a prototype ready, you can declare that you are at the seed stage. Once you have achieved product market fit, you are at series A. Then when you are working at scale, expanding beyond countries, you are series B plus. And when you go public, you will have multiple revenue streams. This is an informative slide I thought I must include as setting up the context for you guys. So these are investors' favorite sectors in India, right from software-enabled services, healthcare technology, manufacturing, fintech, education, telecom, consumer product services, retail, energy, media, tech, or legal tech. So let us examine how would we make your startup investor friendly. As and when the investor looks at your startup, or you need to hunt for an investor to pitch your startup, these are the points you must understand, examine, and then work suitably. The better you understand these features, you would not be wasting your time as well as investors' time. So while you examine to approach an investor, examine that how you align to the investment thesis of the investor. Various VCs, venture capital firms operate on select areas and themes. These themes are called theses, and these are publicly available. Mostly you can look at their site or understand that what is their investment portfolio, where they have invested, and is there any overlap, synergies between what kind of industries they invest in and what kind of industries you are in. So having this examination would help you connect with the right investor. No point of bombarding every investor and then doing mass mailing that would bring in dissatisfaction and frustration. You also need to understand they examine the market. What is the size of total market? While we invest, we look at what is the size of market, what is your addressable market size, how detailed you are presenting in terms of analytics, how confident you are, what sort of research you have done, what sort of risk you have assumed. And then finally, we also look at what is investors' appetite, what is our appetite for further investment in the same domain. Would you like to have one more company which would be like, complementing our strategy or extending our strategy for a accelerated growth on our investments? We also look at product innovation. Is the product service one-time project or it can be scaled up? What is the scalability of this innovation, this idea? Is there a roadmap? Does the founder have a roadmap? Do you have any unique selling point? What is the culture of innovation in the team? Is it something which is like, the entire team is led by one innovator, and what if that innovator leaves? Or you have a proper team which is developing the product. You have a certain base to nurture the innovation in within the team. Do you have any intellectual property rights? And have you benchmarked yourself with competition? So these are the parameters we examine when we look for innovation in products. We also examine competitive advantage. Is there any competitive advantage do you have? If yes, how would you maintain the lead? Because we don't want to invest into one more startup on the horizon. Is there any, we also check, is there any strategy backed by plan or actions or any roadmap is there? We also examine various market dynamics, the need of the market, the trust factor on the founder, on the business. What is the regulatory environment? Have you considered various approvals? Because if you are in fintech, you need to be very careful about potential compliances and risk for violations. Do you have examined any technical feasibility? What sort of cost structure you have as far as your competition is concerned? We also examine the cap table, how many investors you have, how much they have invested, what is the current valuation, any side commitments to any investors, is there any room for new investor or a next round, what are your current liabilities, what is the potential for increase in the stake, that's what I just covered, and what are other risks, what is the traction you have. What happens when you go beyond a pilot phase? Do you have any customer? Have you tried to sell your product to any customers? If yes, then at what rate you are growing? What is your customer acquisition strategy? How is your customer life cycle and LTV, which is called lifetime value? How much a customer is expected to pay? Initially, your cost for customer acquisition will be higher, but as and when you increase the velocity, your cost of customer acquisition should moderately fall down. Is it falling down or it is increasing day by day? And that has to be part of your customer life cycle analysis. And apart from this, we also examine while you guys add new customer, how many customers are retained? What is the rate of churn? Otherwise, it may happen. So I recently reviewed a startup and they say that, our retention rate is 20%. And then probably that put me off because I wouldn't invest with a company who has got only 20% retention rate. So traction always matters. When we examine customer segmentation, we look for if the customer segmentation has been done. Do you understand what do we mean by customer segmentation? Have you defined the customer persona? Because as you would realize that the buyer, seller are two different personas, and you need to make sure that you have adequate knowledge about the marketing. We also examine if there is any niche area or just one more player in the game. If anyone says that, hey, I am not, uh, when we discuss customer segmentation and they would duck our questions, and if they say that, hey, we are into a niche area, then probably the answer at back of my mind is Would I like to be a guinea pig in such niche area? So please make sure that you adequately identify and clarify your customer segmentation in front of your investors. What is the growth potential? What is the projected growth potential? What is the route to profitability? How many route to markets are available? Is there a potential to restructure the delivery, the TCO, and increase profitability at scale? That is also examined, because whatever data you present in 2D is not sacrosanct. Initially, at seed stage, you might be operating at around 5 to 7% of profit. But as and when you scale up, that profit would become a burden. And that is where we examine if there is any ways we can restructure and increase profitability. How are we going to sustain the momentum of growth? That is also a major question we examine while we invest into any startup. Founder and the team. What is the say of the founder with respect to the product and services? Is he a thought leader in the chosen industry domain? Would they withstand any storm? Have they survived any such situation where it was difficult, but they were tough nuts to crack and then they survived? What is their track record? I mean, there are founders who have never settled in any assignment for more than 1.5 years, and that is where we find it very difficult to understand their binding, their commitment to what they are pitching to us. Information about other ventures. We also see whether they had any other stints, any other failures. If there was any failure, what was the learning? What is that learning helping them here? And what is their career path? What is their aspiration? Many founders I meet in India, they say, "Oh yeah, definitely, probably yeah. After 5 years, I want to go to so and so country, and then probably then what is going to happen to the business we are setting up in India? That remains a question." So this is where we examine various factors, their career aspirations, their time commitment, because I would like to invest in a startup where I get founders full commitment. If founder is also invested into multiple startups and he is not spending full attention, full time into the current initiative I'm investing into, then probably I also would not like to engage into. Then there are other ways of associating with any founder. It's not just money. We also see whether they are seeking some kind of connects, whether they are looking for some kind of mentoring or any other resources. The leadership metrics. What is the track record of the CEO? What is the track record of their other CXOs? Are they natural fit or they are force fit? Many a times we see that in a post-sales environment, they force fit someone who has led marketing, but he has no prior experience in customer service, and that's a strict issue with us. We also see how they are aligned with vision and mission, whether they are walking the talk, and including we also scan their social media profile and see whether what sort of thought leadership conferences they've attended, what sort of activities they have been up to. Do they have a clear-cut project plan? How they reach to this level, and from this phase to the future phase, how they are planning? Do they have any kind of KPI, KQIs defined? Who is monitoring? How they are having a end-to-end visibility about what they want to build? What tools they are using? Is there any method in madness? What How they are processing change, and is there any ownership defined between the teams? What are their commitments? How is their runway look like? What is the momentum at which they are burning their uh, what you call surpluses? How they are going to invest into next phases? What are there? And most favorable terms we examine is what are the terms of investment? What is the breakup of investment? what is our IRR, our path to profitability, and is there any exit strategy which can be formulated around us, and what would be the visibility for that exit strategy, how confident we are, and what would be the headroom for growth. So, apart from this, couple of miscellaneous points. If we examine what is the journey ahead, do they have a clear cut plan? What is it that they want to achieve in next quarter, 2 quarter, and probably next 4 quarters? How they are friendly with investors? If they have been invested by any other investors, we would approach them and then see cross referencing as well. How, what is their attitude, how friendly they are, how good they are in sharing information, or they always hide behind NDAs and then they try to hide information. What is it that they do when we interact with them? Do they understand the term sheet? That also reflects what type of number of investors they have been approaching. And these are the some pro tips. So while you interact with investors, always balance between content and attention span. You must complete your pitch within 3 to 5 minutes. Do not get into a longer engagement or pitch or product demo. These are two different points. Please make sure you use uniform fonts, size, and use bullet and numbers as and when applicable. Avoid external links because it is bound to happen. If you have included a YouTube video in your PPT and you are sitting at an investor's office, you may not have right quality of internet and it may not, the video may not play. Dress suitably, mind your voice and tone. Keep the, I mean, you may have a bad day, but then again, the investor is willing to engage and spend time, right? So respect his time. Customer testimony speaks. You build something, and then if it has been accepted and appreciated by a customer, don't hesitate of including 15 to 30-second video of that customer. Keep it business oriented. Do not dilute and then start with your stories when you were in some college, and then use your time judiciously. Remain focused on what is it that you are there for. Study pitch deck and presentation on internet. Understand how other people who has been recently funded have presented. Please practice your pitch every day so that you don't fumble around. The pitch for different people would be different. Your pitch for your customer, your pitch for your investor, your pitch for your partner would be totally different. Keep the gadgets refreshed. Your laptop should not hang. Avoid presenting to an investor from your mobile screen. And it's okay to say, I don't have that information readily available. I'll get back to you. Please explain what do you bring on the table? What are your qualification? And then, because if you are into a wellness startup and you don't have any experience in medical domain, then probably you need to set the context why you and how you can add value. Secret sauce is secret. Do not disclose it. Keep, you can draw a rectangle and say proprietary technology, proprietary information. Investor would respect that. Refine, rehearse, rephrase, and repeat. Keep the information ready beyond thank you slide, so that in case if investor has got some specific information he is looking forward to, you can share. Always write a thank you email to investor and include couple of more information in that thank you email. It's a good chance for you to continue the conversation beyond your interaction. So you can share the deck, you can share a couple of demo videos, voice of customer, and look forward for his feedback. So these are the kind of pro tips I wanted to share. I look forward to connect with each one of you on LinkedIn. You can search my name, Chintan Oza, and happy to connect, happy to mentor, happy to help. Thank you so much, and back to the
Yeah.
host.
Thank you. Thank you, Chintan sir, for providing valuable insights into the startup landscape, for shedding light on the investor perspective in the startup, and talking about the growth stages that will help make informed decision and emphasizing the need for market research, understanding growth potential, cost, legal, and compliance. It was a very informative session. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah.